you, my lady.
Yes, Mr.
Thank you, my lady. Try to be as soft as possible, I undertake. Miss Taylor, it seems that every time you speak about him cheating on you that you get emotionally upset. That would be correct?
Yes.
Is it not so that you send him an email, well, 2 emails, admitting to cheating on him and you apologize to him?
I have never admitted to cheating on Oscar. However, I have admitted in my emails my relationship with Quentin.
Could you repeat that? I could not hear.
I did not cheat on Oscar. There was an altercation with a man that I was seeing after we had ended our relationship the first time, which is on email, my lady.
Did you go with this man to Dubai?
Yes, I did, my lady.
Was there a relationship between you?
Between Quentin and I?
Yes.
Yes, there was a relationship.
And that was at the time when Mr. Pistorius was at the Olympic I think in London.
Yes, my lady.
You'd have to speak a little louder.
Sorry. Thank you.
Mr. Pistorius is the one who drove the black BMW, and the car that followed him was a white Mercedes.
When was this, my lady?
You remember that I referred to the incident when he was followed by a car? He was driving the black BMW, and the car behind him was a white Mercedes.
I'm sorry, I don't recall what you're talking about.
You remember I said there was a car following him, a white Mercedes, and you said you recall it to be a black BMW.
No, I recall a black BMW following our car.
Yes. What I put to you, Taylor, is, and that is what Mr. Pistorius will say, he was in fact in a black BMW, and the car that followed him was a white Mercedes.
I don't know what you're talking about, my lady. I'm sorry, I don't know.
You remember a black car following. He said it was a white car and he was in the black car.
Was this the incident at his security gate?
When he stopped at the security gate, he had phoned. Let me explain to you if it will help you. On the way, he phoned security to tell them about it. He jumped out of the car and moved away from the car.
I don't remember him phoning the security, my lady. I remember when we were driving down the road, he noticed that there was a car behind him following him. And when we stopped at the gate, he jumped out the car and went to the window, and they drove away.
He said he moved away from the car, he moved away from your car and that car, he had his firearm, and then the car drove away.
Sorry, I'm confused at the moment, my lady.
Can you... He says that he called the security to tell them there was a problem. He then jumped out of the car to move away from the car, to take them away from you, that they don't focus on you if it was him, but he did not go to their car.
He did go to the car.
He also says that there was one occasion that you were indeed with him when he had signed papers in respect of firearms, and that was in Pretoria. Can you remember that?
Was that at the restaurant?
No, he says it was only one occasion that you went with him in Pretoria. Can you remember if you were with him in Pretoria where he signed papers for firearms?
I remember 2 occasions where he was looking at a firearm in Pretoria. Where he signed those papers, I can't remember the location. I remember the house. I remember everything about the house and the dogs. I don't remember the location.
And he says that he did not fire a shot through the sunroof of a car, as you testified in your evidence. Says it did not happen.
I can clearly say that he shot through the sunroof of a car.
What you do not know, let's just understand it. You don't know where it was, the location, but that it was not too far from the Vaal River.
It was on our journey from the Vaal River to signing his papers at his friend's house, to going for dinner for burgers. It was during that time. I can't recall the exact location where it happened.
Thank you, my lady. I have no further questions to this witness.
Thank you. Yes, Mr. Nair.
As it good pleases, my lady. Madam, you never must the accused scream whilst his life was in danger. You said so. Is that correct? Just you have to.
Sorry, can you repeat that?
You've said that you've never heard the accused, Mr. Pistorius, scream whilst his life was in danger.
No.
But whilst he was angry?
Whilst he was angry, yes.
How angry?
Extremely angry.
What do you mean with extremely angry?
He reenacted something that happened to me. So
he reenacted it, and during that he shot.
Yes.
Now, it's interesting that this black BMW incident is interesting. Let's get more detail. Tell us what happened.
On our way home one night, we were driving through with that long road by his house, Silver Lakes Road, I'm guessing.
Okay.
Okay.
En route to his house.
Yes, en route to his house. As we arrived at his house at the main gate, he noticed that someone had followed him and come behind him. So he jumped out of the car with his gun and put it to the window, and that car drove away.
Now, you saw him with his gun?
Yes.
The accused with his gun?
Yes.
And he put it to which window of that car?
I don't know. I was sitting in the car at the time, and I can just, from where I was sitting, I turned and I could see that he had the gun. He put it to the window, and I can't recall which side.
So he went to the car?
Yes.
Okay. Now, on what I understand, he wanted the court to believe that he wanted to protect you. So he got out of the car and ran to the side. Did that ever happen?
No, my lady.
My lady, I'm going to ask questions, and if it amounts to new evidence, my lady, I apologize and ask permission to...
But you would know beforehand whether it amounts to new evidence.
My lady, I expect an argument. And so I just want to make sure that if I ask the next questions...
No, you have to make up your mind. If you want...
It may be new evidence, may I leave that? I apologize that I haven't. I ask permission. If Mr. Roo wants to cross-examine, I won't have any issue.
Yes. You may go ahead.
Yeah.
My lady, I've just one difficulty, and of course subject to the order. If it was withheld...
Pardon?
If it was withheld deliberately, it's very different. I'm not sure I get the impression that he knew about it but chose not to ask it. And now after cross-examination wants to introduce it. Then I have a difficulty, my lady. You can't do that. To wait for cross-examination again, then it's in the second installment. So I want the state to tell the court that he did not deliberately hold it back, he forgot about it. And now it came out.
I'll do it gladly, my lady, because that's the truth. I forgot. I can do no better than that. I can apologize, and that's all I can do, but I forgot.
Yes.
And more so, I informed counsel before the time that I'm going to lead evidence on this specific issue. And when I did it, I forgot. As a good business. Madam?
You may proceed.
Thank you. Now, the accused version about the 14th of February is that he thought there was an intruder in the house.
Yes.
Now,
Can you repeat that?
that the accused version of the incident on the 14th of February 23rd is he thought there was an intruder in the house. Now, whilst you were there at his house, was there also an occasion when he thought that there were intruders in his house?
There was one occasion. Must I explain?
Yes, please tell the court what happened.
There was one occasion where something hit the bathroom window, and Oscar woke me up and asked me if I had heard it. And I said it must have just been from the storm. There was a storm that night. And so he got up with his gun and he walked out of the room. And then I heard his friend Matthew at the time that was staying at his house with him. He also walked out the room, and I didn't hear what was going on outside, but I guess everything was fine after that.
But he woke you up?
Yes, he woke me up.
Was that the only occasion, or were there other occasions?
There was probably one or two occasions where he woke me up to ask me if I had heard something, my lady.
Now, do you know of any occasion where he would tell you the next morning that he got up and he was looking for intruders without waking you up?
No, my lady.
Thank you, my lady. That was the only point, and I forgot.
Thank you. Yes, Mr. Rule?
I have no questions. Thank you.
Ms. Taylor,
Yes,
thank you
my
very
lady.
much for your assistance.
Thank you so much.
You may be excused.
Thank you.
May it please the court, lady, may we take an early lunch like we did every day because of me, my lady, but maybe perhaps take an early lunch.
We'll take our 1 hour lunch.
As the court pleases.
Court will adjourn.